My name's Sophie Ratcliffe and I'm one of the tutorial fellows in English here at LMH. I research a broad range of literature from Victorian literature right up to contemporary poetry and fiction. I'm particularly interested in the idea of the relationship between reading and feeling. I wrote a book about 8 years ago about the idea of sympathy, and that was sparked off by a question. I was wondering why the writer Samuel Beckett wrote such nasty stuff. It's very funny, but it's also quite dark, and I was thinking about what does that do? How does that make us feel, and does it do us any good? More recently, my work has been, I've been feeling my way backwards into the 19th century and thinking about literature in a more embodied sense in its physical environment, and that has led me to think about a broad range of things. I've been looking at some weird stories by the writer Anthony Trollope, which were very repetitive, and I've been wondering what we're meant to do as readers and what 19th century readers did with this sort of prose equivalent of Groundhog Day. And I've also been looking at some works of art surrounding the 1862 International Exhibition, which was chaos. And so I've been thinking about what it might mean to feel in a hurry. Oxford is a very special place to study English because we have a big faculty. We have many experts in the field, right from Old English up to what people have been writing, most of the most contemporary drama. So whatever you're interested in, Oxford has an expert in that field to work on as you progress in your studies. So I think it's the size of our faculty and expertise of the faculty and the possibility of the range of approaches that you would encounter in terms of lecturers and tutors here, which is really exciting. What I love about being a tutor at LMH is we're fortunate enough to have 3 tutorial fellows, right from our expert in Old and Middle English and Shakespeare, right up to, so I work on 19th century and 20th century and 21st century literature, and we also have a professorial fellow. And that allows us to have quite a large body of students, but we usually have 8 to 10 undergraduates, so that's a group that's big enough to have some really good conversations with. But what I also love working with students is we're able to think about their individual interests. So at the beginning of a term, say we'd all be looking at Ulysses together, but one student would start to say, I'd like to think about the female flaneur in Ulysses, and someone else would say, I'd like to think about film in Ulysses, and we're having some great conversations. And it's a small enough group that by the end of term someone can step forward and I can work with them and their own individual interests, and someone will be looking at photography and literature, and someone else will be looking at almost contemporary theory or literature and politics. And so I love being able to work with people, and I learn from my students as well as having conversations about my research with them.